The Knicks are currently down 0-2 against the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I will say this right now. This series is far from being over with. Shout out to the Pacers for going out there on the road and taking care of business. But this is the one thing the Pacers have done a great job of. Going out there and winning on the road against the Bucks, against the Cavaliers. If I could say one positive thing about New York moving forward, you can win Game 3. It's possible. And you can win Game 4 as well. Matter of fact, you have to. You don't want to be down 3-0. You don't want to go back to the Garden being down 3-1. The Cavaliers came out in Game 3 and they ran the Pacers out the building. Unfortunately, they lost Game 4 and they lost Game 5. When I look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they had them on the ropes also. But this is the problem right now for the Knicks. The Knicks should have never lost Game 1. This is why I say Game 1, when you're at home, you have home court advantage. You have to win that game. You have to set the tone. Now the Pacers have confidence. They have the same thing that the New York Knicks had against the Boston Celtics. The Knicks are now in the shoes of the Celtics. The Celtics had the Knicks down in Game 1 and Game 2 by 20 points. The Knicks came back in back-to-back games, and they were feeling themselves. They build in that confidence. You have to find a way to close out Game 1. And I went back and I looked at Game 1. There is no way in hell they should have lost that game. You have a 14-point lead with 2 minutes remaining. You were unfocused on defense. Your offense was sloppy. Nembhard goes out there. He's having big moments on Jalen Brunson on the defensive end. But Nesmith hit 6 threes, and majority of those threes were uncontested. That's not a Coach Tibbs team. We've seen them coach the Bulls. We've seen them coach the Timberwolves. They hung their hat on defense. Right now with the Knicks, they have solid defensive moments, but it's not consistent. When you have a lead like that, you have to play smart basketball, play disciplined basketball. And right now, Coach Tibbs, he's letting the team down, and the same with the New York Knicks players. Now, Jalen Brunson, we know what he is on the offensive end, one of the best offensive players in the NBA, but his defense is horrendous because he's an undersized guard. Tyrese Halliburton is getting these switches on him over and over again. We saw this in Game 1. We saw it again in Game 2, especially late in the fourth quarter. He's getting those switches over on Jalen Brunson. Brunson has a hand in his face. It doesn't matter. He's coming down with a 3. It was heartbreaking to lose Game 1 because you were up in that matchup. You had a huge lead. But it was so devastating to lose Game 2. Nembhard, Nesmith, Halliburton, none of those players played phenomenal on the offensive end, especially Tyrese Halliburton. They did a very good job of keeping him in check. Halliburton only had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists, but he was 5 of 16 from the field, 3 of 10 from 3. He wasn't the main reason why they won this basketball game in Game 2. It was Pascal Siakam. He had 39 points. Pascal Siakam had 23 points in the first half. He was 7 of 9 on contested shots. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's getting a hand in his face. It doesn't matter. OG swinging out there. He's getting a hand in his face. It doesn't matter. Mikal Bridges, he maybe did the best job against Pascal Siakam, but it still didn't matter. When they went into overtime a couple of days ago in Game 1, Rick Carlisle realized something. Karl-Anthony Towns, he can have solid defensive moments, but it's not consistent. OG, if we could find a way to screen him so many times and get him off of our impact players like Tyrese Halliburton, like Pascal Siakam, we can get to the rim at a consistent rate. We can force him to foul us. Then we can get those open 3-pointers with someone like Aaron Nesmith if they're not careful. Right now, he's out coaching Coach Tibbs. And shout out to Rick Carlisle. This is why he has won a championship in the past with the Dallas Mavericks. You have to smother Tyrese Halliburton. He's not a score-first point guard. Many people may look at Game 1 and say, hey, he can knock down his threes. He could take over a game on the offensive end. He can. It's not consistent. He'll come out one night. He may give you 29 points. The next night, he may have 15 points. He may have 16 or 18 assists with 0 turnovers. That's his game, even dating back to the Sacramento Kings. He wants to be a playmaker. You need to put that pressure on Tyrese Halliburton. This is where their offense starts. And this is the problem with the New York Knicks. And I picked the Knicks to win the series. I'm not going to run away from it. I had the Knicks winning in 7. It can still happen. The problem that the Knicks are going to face, they have so many weapons with the Pacers. So now your offensive guys have to step up every single possession, whether it's Jalen Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart. Josh Hart has to be better on the offensive end. Just look towards the basket. Try to hit your shots. Just drive in, drive and kick. The same with OG and Deuce McBride. You don't have the bench and you don't have all the weapons that the Pacers have. You're top heavy. You have to lean into that lineup. And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up right now, Cat, I understood why they put him on the bench. I really did. He rarely played in the second half, it seemed like. They put him in the fourth quarter. His jump shot was not there. Had a terrific game one on the offensive end. He missed a game-tying shot in overtime, him and Jalen Brunson from three. But it is what it is. You should have never been in that spot to begin with. But considering the fact that Cat and Jalen Brunson carried you in game one and you were up with that lead, I can't come on here and kill them for that loss. But I can come in game two and say that the defense with Jalen Brunson was not good enough, like how it wasn't good enough in game one. And Cat was terrible on the defensive end. Pascal Siakam is getting whatever he wants. And Miles Turner, he did not have a great game, but he hit a crucial three in the corner. 16 points, 3 rebounds. I'm worried about Cat in this series. Not because of his offensive production. It's his defense. If they can't find a way to get the best defense out of him possible, this series is going to be a wash because of how powerful the front court can be with the Pacers and the fact that they're just outpacing them right now up and down the court. Karl-Anthony Towns, he doesn't have the speed to keep up with the players in the front court. He doesn't have the athleticism. Cat is a great shooter, one of the best shooters I've seen at the big man position, but he doesn't have a post game. He doesn't have the playmaking ability on a consistent basis to get someone involved like Jalen Brunson, and he's not a strong screener either. So right now he's one-dimensional in this series. That could change. Against the Boston Celtics, he was phenomenal on defense and on offense, defense for his standards. And in the first round against the Pistons, he did a great job of just shooting them away from the rim. That's what he's going to have to do for the rest of this series against the Pacers. If he can't be consistent on the offensive end, and the fact that his defense has been terrible, they're going to be in trouble. The Knicks cannot go down 3-0. So the next game, it may sound crazy. Ride the starters into the ground. Just ride them into the ground. Give Jalen Brunson a rest for at least 5 to 6 minutes. Go with Deuce McBride. But you need Jalen Brunson in the court. You need Karl-Anthony Towns in the court as much as possible. And I look at OG and I look at Mikal Bridges. They need to have the same impact in this series how they had against the Boston Celtics and what they did against the Detroit Pistons. Now, Mikal Bridges is doing a phenomenal job on Tyrese Halliburton in game one, also in game two. I really wish they would have won game one because they would have not been in this situation, and would have made more sense to make sure that Mikal Bridges is watching Aaron Nesmith, especially after he made his second three. He had the hot hand. And that's another thing with the Pacers that really bothers me with New York. Anyone can get hot at any given moment. And Coach Tibbs is so stubborn that he's not going to put his best defender on that player. He's just going to let him go out there and play it through. If it's me, Pascal Siakam is going off, I'm double teaming the hell out of him. I'm sending in multiple defenders as much as possible to get the basketball out of his hands. If he's the only player that's cooking us right now, if I'm the Knicks coach, someone else has to go out there. They have to cook us, whether it's Nesmith, whether it's Nembhard, whomever it is. But that's why you made the trade to bring in OG a couple of years ago. The same with Mikal Bridges. That's why you traded all those first round picks from this previous offseason to get those two big wings. Pascal Siakam had the game of his life, 39 points. See if he could do it again next game at home. If he starts off red hot like how he did in game two, get the basketball out of his hands. Any means necessary. You'd rather for someone else to go out there and crush you. But I'll give the Pacers their respect. They're a phenomenal basketball team. They're well coached, and they rarely turn the basketball over. And that's one more thing about the Knicks here. They're sitting in these trap plays with Jalen Brunson. He's running into 2 to 3 defenders to where now he can't split the double team. He's one of the best players in the NBA in terms of splitting the double team. You put him into a triple team situation to where they send in a help defender, the ball may get deflected. As soon as the ball's deflected, the Pacers are running down the court. And the same on the offensive end with their rebounds and the defensive rebounds. They're out hustling New York. You could say it's fatigued by New York because they don't have a deep bench. But I've seen the Pacers go out there and have bad moments against the Cavaliers, and the same against the Milwaukee Bucks. You have to take advantage of every mismatch to take advantage of every opportunity. And right now, Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks are not doing that on a consistent basis. I wouldn't panic too much if you are a Knicks fan. I understand where you're coming from. You lost game 1, but you had this team down. You had them down for a reason. And game 2, it was a closer game. Usually that's how it goes. The first game is a filling out process. You may get blown out. The next game, you come out, you play closer. The Knicks were in this game. It felt like the Pacers had control of it, but it was a close game, especially with Jalen Brunson down the line, down the fourth quarter, hitting that clutch 3, getting to the rim. It should have been an and 1. It wasn't an and 1. But Jalen Brunson needs to continue to be aggressive. They need Cat to help him out. Far as Mikal Bridges, his defense, it will get better. His defense has been solid in the series so far, in my opinion. Him and OG, they need Mikal Bridges to do more on the offensive end. Hit more mid-rangers. Go out there and hit some floaters. Attack that zone. Attack that pressure. Go out there and be aggressive like Jalen Brunson. And I know that's not his game, but I saw him with the Brooklyn Nets be the #1 option. And I know the Nets were not a contending team. They were not a championship contender. But I've seen him go out there and have big moments, have 30-plus points in a game. They need that Mikal Bridges right now. They don't need the Mikal Bridges that says, you know what, Jalen Brunson, you have it on the offensive end. You and Cat, you can take care of business. They need him to have 25-plus points in game 3. They need him to go out there and set the tone on both ends of the court. Far as OG, you guys know how I feel about OG. OG is a very good defender. The corner threes piss me off because he misses a lot of them. He's more so of a guy that's going to be aggressive and attack the rim. But he's been too passive on the offensive end. They need him to just go out there and drive, get to the rim on a consistent basis. He isn't going to go out there and score 20-plus points every single game. He may score 15 to 18 points. That's the ceiling right now for OG. And the bench production, you have Cameron Payne, you have Deuce McBride. Those are your 2 best players coming off the bench. You're not going to play Precious Achiuwa. You're not going to play Landry Shamet. They rarely did it in the regular season. They're damn sure not going to do it in the postseason. It's a Coach Tibbs team. I think the Knicks will be fine, but you have to win the next 2 games at home. Do what you did in the first half in game 1, and the defense needs to be better. Their transition defense in game 1 was solid until the fourth quarter. In game 2, they had solid moments in transition defense, but it's dating back to how they looked in the regular season. They'll have times where they just look completely terrible on the defensive end in transition, and that cannot be the case. It comes down to hustling. But I look at Coach Tibbs, make those adjustments. Cat, be better on the offensive end. His offense needs to outweigh his defensive woes, and the same with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has stepped up. I need to see more out of Cat on a consistent basis. Just because you have one great game doesn't mean that you're going to be impactful for the rest of the series. He needs to step up. I'm not giving up on New York. I'm sticking with my pick. I still think that they could come back. They can make this a game 7. They can still win this series. And it's not me being disrespectful towards the Pacers. The Pacers right now, they're in the driver's seat. But how the NBA playoff works, anything can happen. It's one of the craziest series in all of sports, including hockey, basketball, football. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the New York Knicks and can they make a comeback in this series. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.